What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we are taking it to another roaming super build, since they got a juicy buff with Revenant Act 2. This time we're taking it to the Ballidorse Wrathweavers, which takes inside our Winter's Wraith super inside of our Prismatic Warlock. Actually, this is our beautiful little build that actually does a pretty good, decent little bit of damage on enemies, even in that end game content, which is where this is all the gameplay that is being shown. So first off, we got ourselves the armor perk, Hearts of Ice. Targets frozen by our Winter Wraith super take increased shatter damage. Allies within the range of our Shockwave and Frost Pulse gain frost armor and deal increased damage with stasis weapons. Granting these buff to allies grants us super energy as well, so we're able to spam our super, especially since with the 30% increase to like regen, or however they worded it, with our supers that are roaming for Destiny 2 here. Absolutely spam our super. With the prismatic side of this build, we're able to weaken targets, we're able to freeze targets. It is amazing. The Prismatic Warlock right here, we got our Winter's Wraith to go with our Ballidorse exotic gauntlets there. We got Healing Rift with Balance Glide. You can throw on whatever you would want. Now, I threw on Penumbral Blast so we can get even more stasis synergy with this build, plus Vortex Grenade, because our artifact, we're going to be able to do more damage on stasis debuffed targets, with Bleak Watcher as well as Feed the Void, so we're going to be able to stay alive in endgame content easier too, with Devour as well as Bleak Watcher. Super good for stunning overloads, unstoppables, plus it just keeps enemies at bay like nothing other. Now we got Facet of Courage, Arc, Solar, Void abilities do increase damage to those affected by darkness debuffs, so another way that this grenade is going to do more damage against those stasis debuff targets. Faceted Devour, a targets affected by stasis or strand grants us light transcendent energy, so we're going to become transcendent with this build very quickly. Facet of Ruin, all of those frozen and stasis crystals that we're going to have increased shatter distance and damage, if you will, so Facet of Ruin, very good for the Bleak Watcher as well as Penumbral Blast as well as Winter's Wraith. Facet of Awakening right here, another way for us to get even more of those elemental pickups, so we're going to get a bunch of stasis shards, we're going to get some void breaches in this as well, so a little bit of everything for you in that aspect. And then a Facet of Command, when we freeze a target, we're also going to reload our weapons that we have, adding to this build even more damage output, etc. Plus we're freezing targets everywhere. Now tell me that the lock don't look festive, icy, just like it should, with its Merlin's cap, its Winter Wraith gloves, etc. So we got ourselves a triple 100 build. I would build this out for sure for resilience and recovery as your first two. I went with discipline as my second, or my third option, I guess you should say, because we're going to be using grenade kickstarter. That stasis turret as well as the void grenades are very good, so we're using grenade kickstarter to get those back as fast as we can. Impact induction, so we can get our grenade cooldown when causing damage with our melee, and then vice versa, we're going to get our ability when causing damage with our melee. Double harmonic siphon, so we can get even more potent orbs of power to get back our super even more often than we already are, as well as dynamo. When we are using our rift, we're going to be able to get a bunch of super energy back when we are surrounded by those enemies. On our chest piece here, totally depends on what kind of content you are going into. I went with harmonic reserves for our heavy, but concussive as well as arc damage resistance for that GM that I was going through. Once again, absolution, restitution, as well as recuperation right here. Orbs of restoration as well as absolution, giving us those ability energies, being able to spam it, as well as recuperation, giving us those orbs of power, giving us health, as well as double bomber with Reaper. We throw Reaper down, we are able to get more orbs of power, and then Bomber's going to give us that grenade once again for our stasis turret, as well as throwing that void around. Now when we move on to our weapons that we are going to be using, you can really use any stasis scout rifle. Got this with rapid hit, focus, fury, able to do a good little bit of damage, plus with our artifact and be able to do a bunch with frost armor, etc. Also using it for anti-barrier. We're going to have overload grenade launcher with our X Dirus right here, very good with dealing and sustained damage. We get those loyal moths that circ out and deal extra damage as well. First chill inhibitor with the envious arsenal, as well as bait and switch. We're able to do a bunch of damage as well with this on those champions in that end game content. Now for our artifact right here, last but certainly not least, like I said, we got anti-barrier scout, overload breach to the grenade launchers, as well as melee authorized mods. We're gonna have rapid impact so we can reload our grenade launchers faster. One with frost. While frost armor is active, stasis weapons gain increased reload as well as stability. On top of that, we got the stasis weapon precision hits is going to grant us frost armor. One of the reasons why that stasis primary is a scout rifle, so we can get a bunch of frost armor to stack up as well. Stasis shards gain us that crystalline converter. One of the reasons why we're using our stasis melee as per Numble Blast on this prismatic side. Hail the Storm, shattering those stasis crystals releases stasis damage and shards that travel and track on those enemies. Very good with this synergy. Brain freeze right here, frozen combatants surrounded by a chilling fog, slowing those that aren't already slowed. Little aspect that we add to the synergy of the stasis side. Concussive reloader, weakening targets like I said with both of our grenade launchers. Curative orbs, giving us even more orbs is super nice. Just in general, getting our super back very fast, as well as letting our other guardians get back their super. And then we got kinetic impacts, which that heavy grenade launcher going to be able to cause unstoppable champions to get stunned, as well as do a little bit of extra damage. So these things definitely feeling pretty juicy with its damage aspect. It is chunking enemies on that shatter damage, like I said. Plus, with everything, we got our melee that is freezing enemies. We have our grenade, our stasis turret that is freezing enemies. So a bunch of stasis synergy. Our void grenade, when we don't use it as a turret, is going to do increased damage against those that are actually in the darkness debuffed. So definitely give this build a try out. The roaming supers are absolutely disgusting. Like I said, Ballidorse feel way better than they used to. Definitely was like a C/D ranked exotic in my personal opinion, but now it definitely feels way better. Not like an S tier or high A tier, but I would probably throw it at a solid B plus, if not maybe an A minus. It's right on the cusp right there. Feels way better damage wise. Plus the synergy with prismatic feels really good because we can become transcendent very quickly and everything with that as well. So definitely warlocks, give this a try out. It is way better than it used to. Definitely got a juice with the buff this season. So appreciate you guys again for coming back to the channel. Means a lot to me, means a lot to the channel. If you like and subscribe, helps out the algo, helps me out as well. Plus y'all will get those notifications when you hit that bell so you don't miss out on any of the videos that we have here, builds, god roll guides, etc. So again, appreciate all you guys. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.